I guess I need to add myself to the stage. Hi guys, how y'all today? My computer decided to play ugly with us today, so it took me a little bit longer to get up and running. Can everybody hear me? Let me know if you can hear. If not, I'll try a different mic. So, hi Sandra. Hi Jimmy. Hi Caroline. Hi Helen. Good to see y'all. Thanks for joining in with me today. So, not a lot of questions today, but I do have one that I will answer. Sorry, I had to turn off my firewall. It was preventing me. It's been playing ugly with my program, so I'm seeing if disabling it today will take care of a few things. The one I did have came out of the group, The Education Connection, and she wants to do and Sandra, thanks so much for answering this one, or popping the answer in. I have been kind of social media detoxing lately. It's a little it's gotten a little crazy and a little stressful, so I have not been on social media as much as I normally am. So sometimes just send me a message through Messenger is the fastest way, because or email me, because sometimes I just have to get off of social media. I think you all can understand where that comes from. So Sandra's answer to, I forgot who, Lori, was a good answer. To create a motif stitch, she wants to do a running stitch spider web at a small, tiny size. Yeah, you gotta be agreeing lately. It's just a little too stressful. Nobody needs that. So, all right, let me share my screen here. So, hi Yvonne, good to see you as well. And oh, Yvonne, your little, let me share your little creation here of the bees. That turned out really cute. Hold on, and I'll share that. I just restarted my computer up because it wasn't playing nice in the sandbox. Let me copy this and I will put it on a dock here. So this is, Yvonne is doing a class for her group in Canada, and she used one of my decorative fills here. She wasn't sure if it was going to work or not, but it worked pretty well right there in the center of those wings. Now, another trick you could do if you want to, Yvonne, is to do the shift in the machine, or even in PEDESIGN. If we went and, let's see here, let me just grab one. Let's do this right here. And we'll rotate that bad boy. And let's put in a decorative fill here. See if I can show you what I'm talking about. Let's pick a decorative fill, and that would be, where would that be? Oh, let's see here. Where would mine be? They'll be on my D drive. Is that spring collection? Decorative fills here. Maybe, nope. Well, wonder where I put those bad boys. They're sewing. There. Spring. We'll see here. Maybe they're in here. Yeah, that. Wow. The fact that I got that's pretty impressive. Okay. So if you're in software and you wanted to adjust this, it would be, oh, can't do it here. Oh, that's a machine function. So on the machine, you can shift these left or right, but oh, here I can do it in software. We're going to go the entry. We're going to go to the center point. So if you take the center point, you can move it, and you can move where that one comes out from. I'm like, I know there's got to be a way. So you can just kind of sit and play with it and figure out where you want it to go and get them right where you want them to be. So that's an option for that decorative fill. Now, if we talk about creating a spider web, let's see here. It was cute, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, so spider web. If we want go to option programmable stitch creator and we choose new motif, you can create, now it's going to be a double run because of the way this works. Now, and don't judge my spider web because I'm just pulling this one out of my hind end, as they say. So don't judge my drawing skills here just so much. Let's put up the preview window so we can see what we're doing. And then I would take it and I would grab this. Ooh, let's move that up a little bit so we can see where our extra stitch is here. And I'm basically just kind of adding myself the little web look as we go. Then you can pop this back down here and this back down here and play with it to your heart's content until you like the look that you've got. This is, like I said, this is just one out of my head. I don't have anything in the background to kind of help me, but that's good enough for government work, I think. Okay, so we're just going to call that one done. You can tell I'm a bit anal retentive. And if I were really being it, I would sit here and go, all right, how many squares up, how many squares over, try to make it absolutely perfect, but I'm not going to do that today. We're just going to kind of go with the flow here. And we'll say this as web. And the default size is 5 millimeters. You want it a 1/2 inch. So 5 millimeters, 1/2 inch. An inch is 25. So let's say 12.5. And you can bring these sides in if you want. That is totally up to you. So now let's go back to PEDESIGN and let's see here. If I were just to draw a little bitty teeny tiny line, I'm going to double click and I'm going to select that line and we're going to say motif stitch. Now let me go find that motif stitch. And it should be under live stitches somewhere. Let's see exactly where I saved it. PEDESIGN 11 patterns, live stitches. Okay. So that would be, go back to my C drive, go back to program files, brother, PEDESIGN 11 pattern, and then live stitches. There we go. There's my little web, and you can smush it in, take it out, oops, smush it in, and there you have your basically 1/2 inch web that should stitch out okay. Okay. You want to see what it looks like in a 4x4 hoop. If we go to realistic preview, that's what you've got. Now, the beauty of that is that you can change the length of your stitch. So the default run pitch is 5 millimeters. You could change that down to 3 if you wanted, or you could make it longer if you, I mean, that is up to you. So if you're just wanting, you could make it 10 millimeters and it would be basically a single stitch across. If we look at it, we zoom in, you'll notice that you don't have a lot of extra stitches in there. These on the end are tie-offs. And I'm just shrinking it in to where we make it about 1/2 inch. There we go. So now if you look at it, if we measure it from, let's go from here to here. That's 12.5 millimeters, which is 0.47 inches. That is darn close to what you want, 0.48. Okay. So hopefully, Lori, that answers your question. All right. Let's see here. Next question. I'm popping back over here. What other questions do we have? Because that was a fairly easy one. So I don't have a lot today, guys. I am juggling so many balls in the air. You can see both my my PR1 axis here and my 10 needle is here because I'm working on a class. We have some live classes coming up. If you're not signed up, Heidi's is having their extravaganza in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and that is, when is that date? That is the first weekend in October. That is the 3rd and 4th of October. I leave to go to Becky's Sewing Center. I'm doing a PR Possibilities event Friday and an Aveneer event on Saturday. And then what do we have there? Houston Quilt Festivals is the week of the 8th. If you're not available, if you didn't know that, it got moved to October the 8th this year. After that, we are doing, well, that's a video shoot. Then we have Nova, which is in November, the first weekend in November. After that, there's something happening in California. I can't remember the name of Sewing and Vacuum something. Can't think of the name of that one. Can't remember the name of the dealer on that one, but we have quite a few classes going on coming up. So those are places that I will be. Becky's this weekend is in Tazewell, Tennessee. That's a place I've never been. I lived in East Tennessee half of my life, I guess. Not quite half, a little less than half now. Oh, I take that back. Half my life I lived in Tennessee, but I've never been to Tazewell, Tennessee. It's on the far eastern side of the state. So I've been close there, but I haven't been there. All right, guys. I'm waiting. Boy, it looks like my bandwidth is low today, which is weird. Although it was buffering when I was trying to watch Brother Sews earlier, so maybe that's not so weird. Something must be going on with my internet today. I have not gotten an answer about that, Caroline. I have put that in as a ticket, but I haven't gotten an answer about that. It's weird that depending on what it is. So like I've been entering mine on my Aveneer and I'm not having the same thing that you are. So I'm not real sure, but it may be shape dependent. I'm not real sure, but I have been punching in creating a class for the Aveneer and mine are coming up the same numbers. So I'm not sure what's going on with yours, but I have put that in as a ticket. I do believe I sent a video in of it happening while we were doing it. So what that is, it's out there. Okay. But I'm not sure what exactly is going on there, but I did put it in as a ticket. Good to see you, Jean. Good to see you, Joyce. Glad you could join us today. All right, so you guys get to, since you're here, I'm going to switch over to the computer glasses and see if we like them. See if I can read. Yes, there we go. Oh wow, those are a little large. Yes, I have Comcast, and so mine seems to be buffering today. I don't know that I can wear these today. This is a little bit much for me. They're a little bit too clear. Um, let's pop the other ones back on. Those are my, I was having, y'all, this is funny. So I was video editing and I was doing this number up and down trying to say, okay, is it the actual video blurry or is it my glasses and where they are? So I ended up buying computer glasses to see if I can make sure that I can see. So that's my test run on those. They're definitely not my live video ones because I can't see everything around me. It's a little bit much. They're a little zoomed in. Okay, well, guys, help me out here. Give me something to talk about. Well, let's talk. I'll talk photo stitch today. We'll talk a little photo stitch. So, on the Aveneer, we have this thing called picture play. Picture play is similar to photo stitch. The original version is the closest you will get to photo stitch, and that's the photo stitch one color is the closest to the Aveneer picture play. Okay, it's going to come out the most photorealistic. All right. On the Aveneer, the 10 alternative styles, the neon, the graphic art, the charcoal, pencil, sketch, all of those are different styles, that AI styles that you can apply to that photo. And what they do is they take that photo and they render it into something different, a different style. So it's not going to look like your original photo. And that's one of the things people have to wrap their brain around. It is not going to be like the original photo. It's going to give different colors. It's going to give a totally different look. Now, having said that, it's great for inanimate objects. It's great for animals, but it's not so good for people. I would not put a person through it because you're expecting a different result than what you get. Okay. I did a really cool one with a tiger the other day that was super cool with one of the alternative styles. You get a totally different look. But if I did that same style with a person, it made the person look super weird. So if you're wanting a photo stitch, you're going to go with the original style. That is going to get the closest to what you want. Now, just like in PE design, on the Aveneer, if you're doing picture play, you want to identify the subject. It's not so much about the person and the beach and the shells and the sea and the whole 9 yards. You want to crop into that person, to what you're trying, what is important about that photo to you. Why is it that you want to stitch it? So if we look at a picture, I wonder if I have one on my computer here. That would be an interesting thing. Let me see if I have what I have on my computer before we go deep down this rabbit hole. I'm looking. Hold on. Bum, bum, bum. So, okay, I'm going to share my screen here. And let's pick this one right here. So this is, you're going to get a lot of dark shading with this one, just so we're clear on that. It's because of the way the picture was taken. It was taken at dusk. But I've cropped in there pretty well to it. Let's do our image tune here on this one. And let's go sharpen it up just a little bit. And let's brighten that image up a little bit. So now we can actually see the person, but you're going to lose part of that hair. So let's back it down. Let's see if we add a little contrast to it. No, don't like that. Let's go back to middle ground and let's go right here. And then let's see here. This warms your photo up just a little bit. So now that's closer. I've got golden hair. It's a little bit warmer. Let's see what we get. And we'll touch next. Now let's choose our hoop. The bigger the hoop for PEDESIGN, the bigger the hoop, the better your results will be. I can't stress that enough. All right. For the Aveneer, it's not as important what hoop size, but you will get more detail on a bigger hoop. So I fit my picture to my hoop. I'm going to go previous and I'm going to crop in just a little bit here because I don't know that I need all that water. And we'll touch next. And we'll fit that to page now. All right, now let's touch next. And it takes it a minute to process. Okay, so here's what I have. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it up to about 15 colors. That's the first trick. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the detail to fine. That is your density, and I'm going to shorten my run pitch down as far as it will go. The shorter the stitch, the more detail you're going to get. And then we're going to change colors because it's got him awful pink there. So let's see if we go with like an iris thread, see what we get. That's more skin tones. Let's see what else we can get. Let's try Floriani. Actually, I like that one pretty well. So you've got the hair detail, you've got the face detail. You can then come and adjust your brightness, contrast a bit if you want to again. I don't like that, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it at what I've got. And I'm actually pretty satisfied with that one, so I'll touch finish. And it's going to take it a minute to process it. And what I suggest you look at it is in stitch view, which is what I'm in. I'm not in realistic preview. I am in stitch view. And this is going to give you the most realistic look at what you're going to get. If you go to a realistic preview, it's going to be very slow, first of all. But you're not going to get the same look. So let's go to view and let's go realistic view thread settings and let's change that down to thin and see if that doesn't help us a little bit, because it's got him awfully dark and that's not what we're seeing on the regular preview. So yeah, no, that is not my best picture that I've ever picked. But the stitch view here is not that bad. So, oh, see that right there, that block of color right there is the color block that is, oops, home. Let's do this and let's go to the select tool and click off. And now let's touch that color block right there and let's change that color. Let's change that to more of a linen color. So now you're not quite as dark, but it's a little lighter than his actual skin is. But this is where you play. I mean, yeah, you pull out the original photo and you look at it and you see, hey, what color is this actually going to be? And if you still don't like it, we'll go undo and undo and undo, get back to where it was at the beginning. And let's switch our color palette. So this is your select color palette. You can change to a different color palette. Let's see what Brother Enhanced does. Which one's that? Pacesetter Pro. Nah. All right, let's do it one last time. Let's do it one more time. Let's go image and photo stitch one, color. And it is all about the photo. If I can't make it work this time, I would say, all right, this photo is not my friend, because you want it to be able to be. I'm going to take this red down a little bit. We'll take the warming off of it. Now this child is about to get married. That's how old that photo is. It's on my computer. All right, here, let's pop this one up. And that's the Floriani thread palette. Let's try this one. I like that one better, but it's still not what I want. Let's see what we've got. See what Brother Enhanced does for us. Ooh, that one's not bad. Let's see what Robes and Anton does. Nope. Y'all tell me which one you like the best. But the good thing about this is that all of the settings that I changed remain correct. So let's say I don't want sage. I can remove that color and then I can add a different color back in. So I can come back over here and say, you know, I think I want a little bit lighter color than sage. And we can add that back in. It pops it in the order that it should be. So I picked stone instead of sage. This should be all of that, but let's see here if we take strawberries and we remove that one. Let's add in a lighter pink. Because it's generally going to do light to dark. Let's see what that does. And we'll update our preview. Ooh, no. So let's undo that. Because it made that. So yes, that was not my friend. So let's remove that one and go back to strawberry, wherever strawberry was. Actually, this is the easiest way to do that. Go previous. Go next. It's warm in my room, boys and girls. Oh, I've got it anchored. Okay, here we go. So you can come in and increase and see if that helps you out anymore. It may give you more depth that you need. If not, then just reduce it back down and we'll hit finished and see if this one works better. Give it just a sec. And I still like the first one better. So when I have a photo like this that I can't get the colors right, here's your trick. Do this instead. Go grayscale. Because you are going to get a much cooler version of this. So if I were on the Aveneer, I might do the charcoal sketch one if I couldn't get this one to come out the way I wanted to do it. You have to realize that not every photo is going to lend itself to a photo stitch, but that one's pretty cool. Now, I will sit here and tell you, I have a color palette that I have created called Grayscale, and it's got every color of gray that I can find under the sun. I usually will do about 13 to 15 colors on this and then hit finish. Although that gave me, let's go here and do gray colors update. Which one do we like better? I think I like this one. And then you finish. These turn out super nice. They're great for wedding photos, I will sit here and tell you. And there you go. So if you look at it in stitch view and not in realistic view, and here's the other thing I'm going to sit here and tell you. It is it is weaving the colors together. So what looks like a solid block will be woven in there. It is not going to be just as loud and proud as black as that is. Let's see if we change that to a different color. Ooh, hello, undo. Hit the wrong button. Let's come and pick that one, and let's see if we can make it a little less dark. It needs the dark gray. So there you go. But those actually will turn out better when you stitch them. Those are the grayscales are pretty easy to get to work right. I think you'll have the most success with those. All right, guys. I'm basically talking out of my hiney today, just coming up with topics. So you're going to have to help me out here. Give me something you want to know. Don't make me work so hard. We haven't talked text in a while. You want to talk text? We can talk text. Because no, y'all are not bringing anything up. All right. What happens if you want text to follow a path or follow a spiral? Let's come in here first and let's go grab shape. I'm going to go to outline shapes, and I am going to choose all, because in here there are some little spirally looking things. So what if I want to put my text along this shape right here? I have no idea where they started clicking. So let's look and see. So should start here and should go all the way around, which is kind of really what I wanted to do. So let's come in and type our text now. All right, so I have my text typed in, and if you want to pick a different font while it is selected, not the text tool, while the text is selected with a select icon, you can then go in and change your text. One of the things that I love about PEDESIGN is that it does show me the preview of the font that I'm using with the letters that are on my page. So it will give you that preview. Now, to fit it to my path, I'm going to first of all take this and change it to not sewn. That's the first thing I'm going to do, because I don't want the path to sew. And then I'm going to grab the whole kit and caboodle, either draw all the way around it or Control A on your keyboard, and we will go fit text to outline. We want it to be on top of the line. And we want it to be on the right side. So let's see what we got. So there we go. It is there. Now, if you want to move it along that path, if you grab the point edit tool and you click on the text, when you pull it around, come on. Let's do this. Let's just make the path smaller. There we go. So I can either make my path smaller or I can make my text larger, which would be grab your text and let's see here. Now I should be able to grab this and pull it this way. There we go. That is how you pull it along the path. So if I undo and I undo, I'm going to click on this and my cursor should change into, I'm going to zoom in because it's kind of hard to do this at a small size. Select point tool. All right, see how that I get a line with the A? Now I can move that around and it will move everything behind it as well. And you can move it into your curl. So your two options for that one is to make your text larger or to swirl it around a little bit more. All right, so that's one thing of text. Text on top and bottom of a circle. And we are in PEDESIGN today. In order to do it on the top and bottom of a circle, you have to type them both into separate text boxes. All right, so now I've got happy and I've got birthday. Then I'm going to grab a circle and I'm going to hold my shift key down and I'm going to draw a circle. We're not going to have that circle, so we are going to, I'm going to hold the control key down and move one over here to the side. Why do I do that? To make my life easier. I'm going to hit Control M and then I'm going to grab the text on the top of the circle. Fit text to outline. And we're going to leave everything at the defaults. That sits on top. For this one, you're going to grab that text and you're going to grab this circle. And you're going to go fit text to outline. This time you want to choose the other side and the vertical alignment underneath the line. And you would say, okay. So now it looks upside down and backwards, right? That's okay. You are going to go to flip mirror and you're going to mirror it both ways. Now it's oriented correctly. Now hit the second, that circle, just the circle, because if you grab the text and the circle, it won't align correctly. Control M on your keyboard and everything is back happy in the middle. All right, y'all are super quiet today. You're killing me. Killing me. That's one of the basics. And if you want to change, so we haven't talked spacing in a while either. So bottom text, you might change the kerning a little bit. I'm in inches today, and I'm a metric kind of girl. Because when you spread it out on the bottom, it is going to be further. When you put it on the bottom of the thing, it's got bottom of the circle, it's going to spread out further. So you can reduce the space between them. If you decide you don't like the font, you can change both fonts at both sides of the font at the same time. So here's my text. I can just come up to my text tool and we can change to a different font at the same time. I lied. It's going to make me do them separately. But beauty is it should tell me what the last one was. All right. I'm just kind of doing basics here today, guys, because y'all are not talking to me. You're not helping me out any. If you want to now add a design, import versus open. Import versus open. I always import, okay? I am an import kind of girl. Why is that? Because if I import, I will not save over my original file accidentally, and everything will import. Only PES files open. So you'll notice that when you look at me, it's rare that I go to the file open. I am always an import kind of girl because I can do it regardless. So no, and that lets me try out my designs without having to open one up after another. I get to sit here and just plop and drop and see which one I want, which one fits in that space. Well, what happens if it doesn't fit in my circle? I can grab it all. I can hold my shift key down on the keyboard and pull it out from the corners, and now I have a bigger space to work with. All I have to do is grab the circles, guys. The circles are what control that size of that path. The shift key is going to keep it in the middle, but the circle is going to control the size of the path. It's also going to adjust the size of the text, though. So keep that in mind. All right, I see a question here. At the very back of the manual, they are probably there. I have a mouse pad that I sell that's keyboard shortcuts. They are common shortcuts, though. I mean, it's not like they're special. What have I got sitting on? I've got piece of heat transfer vinyl sitting on there. So, I mean, these are the different shortcuts that are there. They're specific to different parts of the program, but most of them are very similar to everything else. If I do, let's come over here and I hit this, Control L brings up my edit text menu. That one's not what I use very often. Control M for middle, I use almost every day. I the shift key to keep things in the space, I use almost every day. Control to duplicate, I use almost every day. Those are the ones that are my go-tos. So, but I do believe, if I recall correctly, they were in the back of the manual. Let's go up to the help menu. If we go to online instruction manual, let's see if it tells us in the back of that. Let's go control find and let's go keyboard. Not there, so let's go to the very end of the book. I'm looking for you. It does not appear that those shortcuts are in here anymore. I'm looking, but I do not see them. And that's the whole book. So no, I do not see them there anymore. They used to be there, I thought. Okay. I did the spider web at the very beginning of the show, Joyce. We created a motif for that. It's at the very beginning of the show. So when you go back and watch it, that you'll find it there. Sharon, I spoke about it last week and the week before. My version is not wanting to update, and I believe that is because of my firewall. So, since I've turned off my firewall, I should be able to update it when I get off. But Tina did a segment today on Brother So's Live that was a very good segment and it gave you more information about it. And about what it entails, what it has in it. It is just a different program. All right. So it has a very good auto punch feature in it. It has more commercial applications than what PEDESIGN does. It does not have as many creative stitches in it that PEDESIGN does. It does not read an FCM file. It does put out an SVG and it does read an SVG. It doesn't read our PHX files. So there are bonuses and back. I mean, so each program has something it's a little bit better at than the other one. Just like any program, there's no one size fits all solution. And this is not taking over PEDESIGN. It is just an option that we are offering. It has more tutorials out there because Wilcom makes it for us. So we have access to their Wilcom Academy without having to create our own. Okay. The FCM is critical for me as well. So you would have to, they don't have the FCM capability. They have SVG capability. We are working on that. That is a request that we made immediately saying, hey, that doesn't fit in our ecosystem. So that's something that we have requested immediately. But remember, a scan and cut can read an SVG file. So if you can, there are ways around it. It just, you have to go the SVG route. It comes with Corel Draw in the package, so you get both a drawing program, the full graphic suite, as well as the BE Studio. So I mean, you are getting a graphic package along with it. Now, the other thing I'll say is a bit slow of a loader, so I'm still waiting on it to load for me. It's taking it has to do a verification online. I can only be signed in on one computer at a time. So if I were signed in on another computer, it's going to ask me, do I want to sign out of that one to start this session? In order to start a session on this computer, I would have to be out of that. Now mine is, I'm already logged in on this computer. I know it's not that. So mine is loading up right now. It just takes it a little bit longer because it has a lot in it. Some of the things that we have that are kind of, yeah, Canvas Workspace does not export an SVG file. So here's my workspace. I mean, these are your drawing tools. This is an open fill. If I believe it is right mouse click lets me do curved lines. Left mouse click is straight lines. When you're done, press enter, and there you have a running stitch. You come in and you want to add another one. So you're going along another path here. Press enter when you get to the end of it. Now, what I do have the capability of doing is taking these and joining them. Oh, back. I want to grab my edit tool and I want to take this and I can move it to here to join the two together. So I can, you do have the capability of making it a little bit smarter. So there is, where is it here? Auto start and end setting. So if I touch that, it will choose auto starting and ending. Now let's watch it redraw. I believe this is my stitch player. So notice how now it's going to start where it thinks it should start, which is probably not what I want it to do. I wanted those two to be together. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more work. So yeah, that is not what I want it to do. So let's stop the stitch player. And let's adjust those entry and exits. That's, oops, wrong button. You got to realize we have not had time to play with this either. I'm going to sit here and tell you, I am fumbling in the dark with this one because our version has not been working. We have been in a test version and it has not been exactly what we're looking for. So what am I trying to do here? What's that? Center all. That's not what I want to do. Let's go reshape. I want to move my start stops. And I know there is a way to do this. Now let's see if I changed it correctly. Let's see if that does any better. All right, give me just a second, Cindy, and I'll answer that one. So yes, so now I've changed my entry and exit. So now it's all going to run as one continuously running line. So that is kind of the way it does. Now, one of the other things that it does is, let me stop this. Let's select all. I believe I showed this last week. I'm going to open up a file. This is one of those rare instances that I will open up a file. Well, let's not do that. Let's go to their library right here, design library. And let's see here. What do we have? And this is all built-in content, guys. So this is everything that they have, or everything that we have that they have. So let's say I'm just going to grab this. It's an easy design, and it will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. I'm going to make it bigger. Ooh, now, if you are familiar with, look there, that's a satin stitch. So that is not optimal. Let's go to object properties, and let's go to fills, and let's change that from a satin to a tatami stitch. Why is that important? Because if you have a satin, why is it not letting me change that to tatami? Well, let's undo that. Fills, tatami. Not doing it. You little ornery cuss. What did I do wrong? All right, let's just zoom in. Let's go back to the original purpose. If I want just this part, let's see here. Let's break apart. We're going to break it apart. So now I can go to my object properties, and I should be able to change that to a tatami stitch. There we go. Same thing here. It was grouped together, so it's not letting me do that. Now, if we resize this, we should get a resize. We should not have any blanks, and we don't. Okay. So now there is another thing that we can do that is unique to this one, this program, that we don't have in PEDESIGN. If I go to object properties and I'm in my stitch, my object properties here, if I go to special, no, where is that? Give me a second. We're just going to grab one piece. Oh, duh, hold on. I always forget that this is under effects. Under effects, hand stitch. If you change this to hand stitch, and you can pick, we'll put hand stitch effect on. What it does is it turns it into a more look of a hand stitched embroidery design. So it makes it more jagged. It just kind of gives it a unique look to it. This I thought would show you more, but evidently it doesn't. Let's pick a different design. Let's go here. We don't want to save that. Let me see if I can find one that's going to show up better. Now let's go object properties, effects, hand stitch, and let's see if we like it or not. It just makes it a little bit more jagged, a little bit more rough around the edges. Now we're missing part right there. We need that to be not a hand stitch. We do want it to be that, but that's not what we want to be in right now. We want that to be a fill. Where's my fills? Right here. Let's change that to a tatami, because I changed that ear to where it was too big for a fill, for a satin stitch. So I mean, it's not as it just gives it a more jagged look. We also have what they call a reef stitch. Object property special effects. We have a trapunto stitch. But I mean, there's quite a bit in here that we just haven't had time to play with. I mean, we are getting ready for our big push out the door, and haven't had time to play with it. I would sit here and tell you, haven't had time to play with it. But a fill is a fill is a fill. A column is a column, a column. This is going to create you a fill area. This is going to create you a column stitch. Right mouse click is a curve. enters it in. This is your square drawing tool, rectangle square drawing tool. Right mouse click enters your space, or left. And here's your circle tool. It has what we call team names. It has kiosk mode. It has a reef stitch. It has blanket stitch. And it comes with a full graphic suite. So full Corel Draw graphic suite, which is interworked with it. Now, one of the cool things that it does is this is cool. I will sit here and tell you. Let's say you have a very intense design and you don't want to stitch it. Let's say this one right here. This is a lot. It is a lot. Let's turn off showing connectors and things like that. Let's turn all of our little things off. Okay. I can go up here and I can say export design as a capture virtual decoration bitmap. And what that will do is it will, you choose your resolution. It's giving you the size of it. What that will do is give you a print file. So I'm going to go ahead and just say save. And instead of stitching out something that is a gazillion stitches, I can sublimate that design. Let me pull it up. So that would be my sublimation design portion of that. So it gives you the capability of doing quite a bit outside of embroideries, but it would look like embroidery because you're seeing all of the stitches, but instead of doing it as an embroidery design and stitching it, you are putting it on a sublimatable blank. Okay, so that is one of the cool things. If you are a multi decoration thing, if that is your jam, then I think you will really enjoy this. All right, so Cindy, you should not have to delete. So I know you're in BES4, but I'm using silver today. It's the same process. It would be the exact same process. So if you change the text, you can find that you can't change. Okay, so let me show you what you would do. Wrong program. Here we go. All right, so there's my text. I'm going to add in a design. Oh, I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. So there's my design. There's my text. Now I want to change my font style. You simply select the text with the select tool, and then you come over here and you use the arrow key on the keyboard to figure out which one you want. Press enter or just click on it and click apply, and it will automatically change once you hit apply. Okay. So that, you have to have it selected with the select tool, not the text tool. And my guess is you're hitting the text tool. Text enters new text. Select lets you change what you have selected. So when you go to the text tool, it's assuming you want to add new text. If I have this selected and I hit my text tool, now I can come in here and change, but you have to have it. And then you click apply. So, either way works. I tend to teach you with the select tool, and the reason being is because for both products, for both PEDESIGN and BES, if I use the select tool, I can change my text. If in PEDESIGN, if I have the text tool selected, I cannot change that font. It is assuming I'm entering new text. BES, you can go either way as long as you clicked back on your word and you've gotten the word itself selected. Okay. Linda, no, Sublimation is just another way of doing things. So DTF hot transfers are still out there and they are still hot. Sublimation allows us to do it at home and it turns it into a permanently bonded thing. So iron-on transfers, they have a lifespan. An iron-on transfer is going to eventually wash out because it's an iron-on transfer. It's not going to seep into the pores of the fabric. Sublimation is a special ink and a special printer. So you have to have a sublimation printer and a sublimation ink. And Brother makes the sublimation printer with sublimation inks. It prints onto sublimation paper. You need a polyester fiber item. So the higher the polyester content, the better your transfer will be. If you have 65, 35 polyesters, let's say you're 65% polyester, 35 cotton, 65% of your of your sublimation print will adhere to that garment. So it will be a more vintage look. 50-50, only 50% of that ink is going to transfer. So the higher the polyester content, the more vivid your print will be. And that's what I will say. So it's a way to get more detailed items that is it's a permanent bond. It's not going to wash out. It's not going to peel off. So it hasn't truly replaced it. It's just a different decorating method. And for us, I mean, in the apparel industry, it's a nice little thing to have in your sleeve. So let's say I wanted to sublimate that onto a piece of white fabric, cotton, white polyester, and I wanted to turn that into an applique. I could do that. I mean, that's a no-brainer. It can be done. You just simply cut it out and you're ready to go. So that's where I'm at. All right, guys. So I am going to say goodbye for today. So evidently I had more to say today than I thought. Didn't really mean to go this long, but hopefully you guys learned a little bit something different today. We just played around, but I really, 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 really appreciate when I get questions. I'm trying to look and see if I will be on next week. Next week is very, very iffy. I have doors and windows supposed to be being put in next week. So I don't know if that will be done in time to have a live. I know I can't go live when I have hammering going on in the house. So I'll let you know as soon as I know something. All right. All right, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. If you're in Tazewell this weekend, come by and see us. Bye-bye.